So, what's up? What's up? What's up? It's me, Anjipu, and guess what? It's another combo.
Angie Poo? Do you know Angie?
Who's that?
Who is she? Oh, Angie Poo.
Hey, it's me, Angie Poo. What it do? What it do? It's me, Anjipu. We on our troll hair, our beach day kind of look. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. Listen, I am enjoying this because the person that's coming up, he came early. He came ready. He ain't had no questions. He was just like, let's get into it. And guess what? Mr. Kenny D himself, I think he's funny. And he's an Islander. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in.
Hey, thank you so much for having me, Angie. Big up to all the folks who are also tuned in as well. Happy to be here. How is everything with you?
Everything is well. Can you please tell the people who you are, where you are, what you about? You started a YouTube channel. We dropped a link.
hmm
Everything that don't tell, not too much because I got some questions, but just tell them enough just to let them know who you are.
Well, I'm a content creator. I'm all about self-expression and expressing yourself when it comes to content, videos, and the whole nine yards. I'm originally from Antigua. You can see the flag in the background, of course. Got to represent the 268. I'm also in Antigua at the moment, so I'm an island boy by heart, and I just wanted to do something where we can express Caribbean culture in a way that's has a little bit of comedy and truth to it, and so on. A little bit of nostalgia as well when it comes to talking about Caribbean related things. So that's what I've been doing. So I'm here. We can talk about whatever you want to talk about. We can get into it.
All right, we got some Islanders in the building. We do. Can we just do a general hi to people and then later on in the chat we'll just go and say hi to
For
everybody,
sure,
but you
for
can
sure,
just
for
give
sure.
them
But of
a
course, big up
general.
to all my island boys, all my island people, of course. From Jamaica down to Trinidad. Well, from Jamaica down to Guyana. We can't forget, although Guyana is not necessarily an island, but from Jamaica down to Guyana for sure, for sure. Much love.
Oh my goodness. Once again, I am so thankful you decided to come and hang out with me. Angie Poo, Miss Sociable. I'm
hmm
thankful.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I know we supposed to have been linked. We supposed to have linked up last week, but it didn't work out. But I couldn't let it happen again, so I made sure I cleared my schedule, and I had everything prepared for us to do this tonight.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Listen, what I want to just get right into
hmm
it is that us stateside we always confuse and say Antigua and Anguilla.
hmm
Can
Two
you give
different
us
places. Funny enough, though, funny enough as you may say that, I've actually lived in, I'm from Antigua, but I've also lived in Angola for a couple of years. My first son, my eldest son, he was born in Angola, so I'm very familiar with Angola. Angola is still a British territory, very small island in comparison to the others, but it's a very beautiful place. Big up to all my Angolians, very, very hospitable people, loving. It's a nice, quiet place as well. So if you get a chance to, and you want to go somewhere and relax and just enjoy yourself, definitely check out Angola. But two different places, two completely different places. Angola has some rich history, and if we get a chance, I can talk about a little bit of Angola history as well, because the island has a unique story that I could share with you. And that's some of the things that I like doing is, there's so many little things that people may not know about the Caribbean, certain little nuances, little stories that I think are interesting. And I've been in the position that I've traveled to most of the islands. I've, done work on most of the islands. So I'm a bit familiar with a lot of different things that happen on most of the islands. And it puts me in a unique position where I can actually share and talk about those things. But we'll get into that. Just remind me to give you a story about Angola, and I'll give you one.
Oh, please do. Like I said, us stateside we always get confused about what's the difference.
Yeah,
Antigua and Anguilla. But I say the both of the water is blue, 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 blue.
yeah, for sure, for sure. Angola is one of the places in the Caribbean that has one of the couple few places in the Caribbean that has pink sand. So Barbuda, which is Antigua's sister island, has pink sand, and Angola has a few beaches with pink sand as well. So it's a very unique place, very tourist driven, but they cater for more of the high end tourists. So they have some of the more luxury resorts. Antigua is more all around tourists where we cater for everybody, high end, mid end, low end, everybody can come. But Angola is pretty cool, man, and Antigua is cool as well.
Okay, so Antigua, which one of them has like there's what they're known for? Where
Okay,
you're like what?
okay, so Antigua is known for a couple of things.
Okay,
Um, we are we are said to be the island in the Caribbean with the most beaches. So they say that we have 365 beaches, one for each day of the year. So there's that. We're also known for.
wait. Pause, pause, pause.
Mhm,
Y'all have 365 beaches.
mhm, definitely, yeah,
I
yeah,
didn't know it was that big.
yeah. We're known for our beaches, man. We have some of the most beautiful beaches in the region, and that's just one of the talking points about Antigua. Don't get me wrong, most Caribbean islands have beautiful beaches, but we have a lot here in Antigua, So that's one of the things we're known for. We're also known for the persons in the Caribbean who are into cricket. It's also the home of Sir Vivian Richards, who is one of the most legendary cricketers in the world. Also the home of Sir Richie Richardson, Sir Curtly Ambrose. They're all legendary cricketers. If you're into soca, we're the home of Burning Flames. Burning Flames is originally from Antigua, and if you're also into soca, we're the home of Ricardo Drew. He was born here in Antigua as well. So, we got a couple of things that we can, use as our claim to fame, and also the home of me, trying to get out there on the international scene. So, it is what it is. Angola is still a British republic.
Okay. Now
Um,
you need a passport. You definitely need a passport to come to
yes,
your country.
yes, you need a passport to come anywhere in the Caribbean except for like Puerto Rico. Well, if you're in the US, except for like St. Thomas, except for the US Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, everywhere else you're gonna need a passport to come to. You're definitely
And
gonna need a passport.
so when I come to you, not only do you I get a beautiful stamp.
Hmm.
You get a stamp. Is the taxes expensive to
Not,
come in
not,
and come out?
not really. We have in Antigua, the biggest tax we have in Antigua is something called ABST, which is a sales tax, which is about 15%. But that is really the biggest tax on anything. You're not going to get necessarily more than that 15% on any goods and service. You're not going to pay income tax,
Mm,
um, and that sort of thing. So it's just really that sales tax. So it's affordable. Of course, if you're converting from the US dollar and comparing it to the Antiguan or the EC dollar. It's you can make the dollar stretch. So it's relatively inexpensive when in comparison to other places. So you can make your money worthwhile.
so
If Go
if
ahead.
I give you $5 of American money, how much does that equal into Antigua money?
That's about $13.50.
Okay. And the cost of living is
The cost of living is, I would say, somewhere in the middle. It's not very, very low, but it's not the highest I've seen either. There's other places in the region that the cost of living is a bit higher when compared to Antigua. I'm not going to call anywhere out, but there's other islands where the cost of living is, significantly higher when you compare it to Antigua. So I'll put it somewhere in the middle. Just to give you a representation, if you are living in Antigua for that same 5 US, you can get a meal. You can get something decent to eat. You know what I'm saying? So you can get something for that price. If you're local, you know where to go to. That can also probably buy you. We like our bread in Antigua. We like bread. I don't know. We like our bread and cheese. So that can
oh,
get you a bread and cheese and probably something to drink. That can get you a couple of things. It's affordable in a certain capacity.
oh wow. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I want to come. I want to come. I want to come. So I asked you this. Is there anything that's upcoming that we got to come over and enjoy? We got to see. Like, can you give us a time frame? Why do we got to come over there to you, and what's going on?
Well, there's a lot of unique things that happen in Antigua um, every year. So I know, like everywhere else, we were battling COVID and we were on the lockdown and so on. But prior to COVID, Antigua had a very rich, what is called a fete sort of movement. We had a lot of parties and events that used to take place. Of course, our carnival is in the summer, which is the last week in July 1st, last week in July, first week in August. But we have a lot of different activities that happen around that. We just came out of Independence, which was in November 1st. November 1st was our independence. We had a lot of activities. Then Christmas time is coming up, so there's going to be a lot of unique things that are happening around Christmas time and New Year's, some really state-of-the-art events and fetes and places to go to and lime and hang out. So there's always something happening. And because we're coming out of COVID now, there's always going to be some sort of event you can be a part of, you can go to. There's, if you just want to come and just enjoy the restaurants, we have some amazing restaurants. I actually did a video. A couple of weeks ago or a week ago with the top 5 best restaurants in the Caribbean. Antigua's Chirac restaurant came at number 3. But if you would not imagine the amount of people who reached out to me and said, I like where Chirac's is, but there's another restaurant in Antigua that I think is better than Chirac's, or, you know, whatever the case may be. So there's amazing restaurants, really good chefs, you know, a lot of things that you can do. So at any given time, if you want to come to the Caribbean, especially if you're coming at the end of the year like this when it's winter in other places, definitely do so. Get away from the cold. Come on down. Enjoy it. There's lots of things that's here to do. So that's what I would tell anybody out there when it comes to Antigua and Barbuda.
All right, let's get right into the talk in regards to Antigua, Miami.
Okay.
Antigua, Miami.
So, you know, before we started the live, we were having a conversation. You told me you were from Philadelphia originally, and I told you that.
No. I'm born and raised from Philadelphia. I don't prefer Philadelphia, but go ahead.
But I'm just drawing to where we got to the conversation. I said to you that I've only really been to 2 places in the U.S. I New York and Miami, and my preference is always going to be Miami because that's what I think is closest to Caribbean life. You don't like Miami. I don't know why you don't like Miami. Miami to me is amazing. So the first time I went to Miami, I was staying in a place called Doral.
Okay.
I think with Miami, it's the difference in ethnicities. You have your Haitians who are in Miami. You have your Cubans, your Puerto Ricans who are in Miami. Of course, you have your Caribbean people who are there as well, and everybody else. So I think that mixture of everybody sort of kind of reminded me of the Caribbean somewhat, because we are diversified in the Caribbean. You know, you can come to the Caribbean, you can meet Haitians, you know, people from the Spanish-speaking countries and everything. So I guess that diversity worked well for me.
Okay.
So I always like that, and of course the weather, it's close enough to what we have in the Caribbean. The food is also close enough to what we have in the Caribbean, and then Miami never really sleeps now. Miami is a nice. Let me tell you something. I'm gonna give you a joke. So
give me a joke. Come on, because you gotta sell me.
I went to this restaurant, and I hate giving people plugs like this because they didn't pay for it, but I'm telling my story. I went to this restaurant in Miami. It was on Miami Beach.
Okay.
It's called Big Pink. Somebody took me out to eat there, and it was the first place I ever had like a 12-inch chicken and waffle. It's like, I'm like, sheesh. The food everything was oversized, and it was just like you had people who were waiting in the hot Miami sun. This is summertime Miami when I was there. People waiting in the hot Miami sun to get into this place every day. And I'm like, yo, but the food was really good there. So, I mean, I just have fond memories of Miami, man. And then, of course, you have things like Miami Carnival. So, you know, as a Caribbean person, you're going to go to Miami Carnival. You're going to probably go to New York Labor Day. So those 2 places are always going to be right up there. Atlanta has a good carnival, too. I've never personally been to Atlanta Carnival. Maybe next year.
I've been to Atlanta Carnival.
I'll probably go next year.
I just feel like I love Miami with the people. I love the vibe. But the water ain't blue.
I agree. And I mean, nobody could. Funny enough, I have gone to the beach in Miami, but never in the water. If that makes sense. So I've gone to like Miami Beach. Yeah, I've gone to Miami Beach. I've gone to South Beach, but I've never been like in the water. I went to like shopping in the restaurants around there, but I've never been in the water. And really, I don't think very many places can compare to the Caribbean when it comes to actual water. Again, I'm from Antigua. We got 365 beaches. They're all blue and they're all beautiful. So no, not very many places can compare to the Caribbean when it comes to beautiful beaches and crystal clear water, and it's just so unique. So I didn't do the water thing, and it was not about the water for me per se,
It's not.
but everything else, I guess.
And
Everything else.
that's my only problem. Like
Okay.
I love Miami outside, and I did it when I was young, like a
Okay.
lot. So it's the water. It's the
I
water for
mean,
me.
you act like you're old now. You're like 21 now, so I don't
Oh,
know how
you
much
so
younger
sweet.
you
You
could
so
have
sweet.
been
You so sweet. You so
at that
sweet.
time.
Yeah. You so sweet. Back to you. Basically, you have something over there on your IG. It's
Hmm.
called spoken word poems.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why that poem, and can you speak it now? Because I think you
Oh
was
man,
reading. I think you was reading. I
I
don't think
was. I was. I no. So I learned it to do that, but okay. So let me go back and tell you why that is first, and then I'll see if I can remember it.
okay.
Um, So I'm also a part of an organization called Spilling Ink. All right. We try to provide a platform for the creative arts. So people who sing, do poetry, spoken word, and the whole nine yard. I love music, right? Hip hop is my favorite genre of music. Although I'm a Caribbean boy, I grew up listening to hip hop. I remember my younger cousins, well, my older cousins at the time, they used to always go to New York every summer because their mom and aunt used to live there,
Yeah.
right? So every summer they went to New York to visit, and they would come back with all the goodies, all the gadgets, and so on. And I remember, not to age myself too much, I
Okay.
was probably I was probably 8. I think I was
Okay.
probably about 8 years old, and they came back with us. You remember the old time Sony Discman that looked
Of
like a big
course.
brick?
Of course.
All right, they came back with one of that, and they had the Biggie Smalls Ready to Die album in it. And you always like to be around your older cousins and so on.
Yeah.
I messing with this stuff. I listened to that album, and I've at that point in time, I never heard anybody saying those sort of things. I've never heard I never heard anybody cussing on in music. I used to, if you're a Caribbean person, you remember like your grandmother used to listen like Joseph Niles and then
Okay. The old
old time
Jamaican
gospel
music.
music,
Yeah.
right? So that's what we used to listen in the house. And then I heard this and I'm like, what the hell is this? I was addicted. So I got into Biggie, I got into Nas, and then
Oh,
later on I got into everything else like Outkast, I got into Jay-Z, DMX, all these guys. I got into that whole, so that music kind of shaped my younger years, and I've always been a hip hop fan since. So I got into that heavy, heavy, heavy
okay.
as
So
a
I gotta
youngster.
ask,
Hmm.
who's your favorite rap artist?
DMX, hands down.
What?
DMX, DMX, hands down. DMX is the DMX. I'll put
What?
it this way: DMX's first and second album were the first two albums I ever bought with my own money.
Wow.
You know what I'm
Okay,
saying?
so you
So
gotta bust it. Come on. What we doing? What's the name of the song? What we doing?
I mean,
We're
there's so
gonna
much we
let
can
go
do.
from.
Probably my favorite song for him was probably Slipping. I've been
Okay,
to
come on.
mad different phases, like mazes to find my way. And now I know that happy days are not far away. If I'm strong enough, I live long enough to see my kids doing something more important with my life than beds. I know because I've been here. I mean,
Bars.
he's just there. So getting back to how we got into the whole thing for that song that I did for the spoken word.
Yes.
Um, I've
The
also
J.
got
Cole
into J.
song.
Cole. Yes.
Yes.
So I think there was a time period where I wasn't listening to a lot of hip hop between a certain time frame. So after like the 50 Cent era
Yes.
and before the Kanye era, Kanye 50 Cent era,
Okay.
and then J. Cole. Between that period there, I wasn't, because a lot of the artists, the new ones that came out at that time, I wasn't really into them. But then J. Cole came on the scene and I'm like, yo, who is this dude? And I fell in love with J. Cole. That song for him, I consider one of the best storytelling songs. So we had an idea to do it as a spoken word piece.
Yeah.
Right? So that's how that came together. So because it's sort of a we can do it because of how the song is constructed. You can probably do it like a conversation. So I think it started. And again, forgive me if I can't remember off the top of my head. I learned
You
it.
ain't gotta do it all because I want them to come over to you and see it for themselves. I want you
Yeah,
to
yeah,
just
yeah.
little.
So it goes like it wasn't nothing like the first time, man.
Mm.
She was in my math class, long hair, brown skin, with a fat ass. She used to sit beside me. We used to crack mad jokes. The teacher got mad, so we passed notes. It started off so innocent. She had a vibe, and then I was really digging it. I think it was I was a young and straight crushing, try to play like I was cool, but I really couldn't wait to get to school. I gotta relearn it, but trust me, that is you can go find the video like, on my accounts, but that is something that I'm probably gonna do for some other songs that I like that are story type songs.
Yeah.
But it's just something creative that we tried to do with that and merge the spoken word with the hip hop in this sort of way, and I'm always about expression. So big up to Spilling Ink. Again, that's the company I'm a part of that creates that platform for spoken word artists. We do any open mic night events once a month. That's called Poetry in the Park.
I'm about to ask.
So
That's poetry in the park, right?
yeah, Poetry in the
Okay.
Park,
So
right?
poetry in the park is it a free admission?
Yes, it is. It is. It's free
Okay.
admission.
And
It's
how would you become a part of the poetry in the park? Like if
so
I
when you
just
come, just you can sign up if you want to do a piece. So when we are doing it again, you sign up. Um, you can get a piece done. You just come and express yourself. We don't give any rules. We don't tell you you can or can't say anything. You just
okay.
open to expressing yourself. We just create the vibe, and you just bring the poetry. Express yourself as you would normally do. And we've had so many people who it's their first time on stage. They just come on out and really, really do some amazing things. The numbers for the event grows every week, and we're very
Okay.
proud of where it is. Very, very proud of where it is. The next one is going to be the last Saturday of this month. I think it's the 27th. That's when the next one is going to be. It's every last Saturday of the month. And it's really, really cool, man. So if you're in Antigua or you're coming to Antigua and you want to be part of a different type of event, let's check us out for Poetry in the Park, and you can definitely have a good time.
You can find all the information over there. Go
Hmm.
on Instagram, Kenny D himself. Like over
Definitely.
there is a whole hoop because he goes right into. I got this question though, because
Tell me.
I be asking a bunch of questions, and I know
Hmm.
you're gonna be like, "Oh, what games did you play as a kid? Because you got that comedy thing you got going on. What games did you play as a kid? Like,
I
Northerners, we played dozens. Did y'all have dozens?
No, so not really dozens. We used to play a lot of like skipping rope, young as kids when we were younger. In terms of games like that, skipping rope was one that especially a lot of girls used to play. But we like more traditional games in the Caribbean. So of course we used to be like play our street cricket or street football where we just set up goals in the street and we play in the street. I'm a basketball fan personally. And in terms of playing games, I played more basketball, and I actually played a little bit of golf too, believe it or not. So I did that. Yeah, I got
Okay.
into golf really heavy as a teenager. It was, and you know what it was? It was that Tiger Woods
Oh,
era.
that era, that
Yeah,
moment.
so that Tiger Woods era. Like
It
he's
was
like, yo,
yeah, okay.
I gotta
I can
play some golf,
understand that.
right? So that's the games we used to play in high school. We used to play things like hand tennis, and we're well rounded. I think what a lot of people don't realize about like a place like Antigua, it is touched by so many different cultures. People here play baseball because we have a big enough Spanish community. People
Okay.
here play rounders, netball, basketball, cricket, football, rugby. We play all sorts of different games here because we have so many different cultures here. We have our different medical schools. So you have persons from the international community that comes down here. We have a big expat community. So persons who were retired from England and Europe that come down here, they buy houses and they spend the rest of their lives here. So we have a big, vibrant community and different things that are happening. So we were very well rounded as a community.
I mean, you're like so funny. Like, I just find you to be real funny. And then the thing is, you educate us and you make jokes about it too.
Yeah, for
Like,
sure.
you
And
tell
that's
us,
and that's what it's all about. We call it edutainment. So we try to educate, entertain, apply a little bit of funny into it so you remember it. One of the first videos that I did, which is not really too much education, but just a little bit of Caribbean lifestyle. One of the
okay,
first videos that I did that went really crazy viral was I played three characters: an American, uh, British person, and a Caribbean person. And um, it's like, hey, Caribbean people, what do you call this? And it was American people would say batteries, British people would say batteries, and Caribbean people is like, what y'all talking about? That battery. So it's just difference in how we speak and different things like that. I did that series for a little while. I did it with different things. So I did it with cereal. So you know,
you
American
say,
people would say cereal. Caribbean people, which is if you tell them we don't say cereal, you would hardly ever hear a Caribbean person say, "Hey, go buy a box of cereal." We'll say cornflakes. Every cereal is cornflakes.
every cereal's
Every
cornflakes.
cereal is cornflakes, right? But the funny thing about it that we don't actually eat cornflakes. So when they tell you go buy cornflakes, it really means to go buy your favorite cereal. But
And
nobody's
what,
favorite cereal is cornflakes.
okay, so what is some of the cereals that's over there?
Everything. Captain we have everything. Captain Crunch, Lucky Charms, Fruity Pebbles, everything. But we don't call them by that name. We call everything cornflakes.
The flakes.
Yeah, we call everything cornflakes. That's just
Cornflakes. Oh
and
my
it's a
goodness.
couple of things we do like that as well. It's almost what it's similar to? It's similar to black people who to us black people when you tell them go get like a Kool-Aid, we won't
Okay.
ever say a strawberry Kool-Aid. The
We
person sends you to buy a Kool-Aid, we're gonna
in
say
general.
red. We're gonna say get the red one, right? We don't say strawberry, get a red Kool-Aid, and we just understand what that means. So it's something similar to that, and there's other things like that in the Caribbean, like there's like chlorine bleach.
Okay.
All of them have different names, but for most places in the Caribbean, we say Clorox.
We
So
say Clorox.
yeah, that's exactly right. So if they tell you go buy a Clorox, it doesn't necessarily mean to buy a bottle of Clorox. It means go buy a chlorine bleach. You know, so it's just that because a lot of those brands were things that we grew up with, right? So
Okay, I could.
so everything else that comes after that is going to be that particular brand. It's almost it's almost like every person calling a hot tub a jacuzzi. A
Okay,
jacuzzi is a brand. Not every hot tub is a jacuzzi. A
it's
jacuzzi is
not.
just a brand.
It
Exactly. So,
is.
but everybody says a jacuzzi. If you go to somebody's house now and they have a hot tub in their backyard, you're gonna say let's get into the jacuzzi, when it probably is not even a jacuzzi. It's just a hot tub. So
Okay, y'all be specific about stuff. That's what it basically is. Y'all
yes, yeah,
more
for sure.
direct, straight to the point.
Hmm. Hmm.
So, the most visit Caribbean islands, the
Hmm.
five top. What are
Yeah.
they?
Off the top of my head, I think I
Give
had
me the
Santo
first three if you
Domingo.
can't do none. Okay, go
Santo
ahead.
Domingo was number one.
Hmm.
Cuba was number two. Jamaica was number three. I think Bahamas was number four. And I'm forgetting number five. I'm
Okay,
forgetting number
so
five.
okay, and the top beautiful places in the Caribbean.
I can't, I was trying to remember. I can't remember what I had listed for that because you got to remember, right? I do a lot of these videos.
I know you do a lot,
I
but
do a lot of these videos.
you
Um,
gotta help me because I want to come. So I need to be like,
no,
oh, I
listen,
didn't know.
listen. You can't. I'll tell you this. You can't go wrong with any Caribbean island, right?
You
Um, we all have the different things that we're known for, but pretty much we're so very similar when it comes to a lot of culture and history that
okay,
when you visit one, there are going to be elements of each other Caribbean island in the other ones that you visit. So you can't go wrong. I will always tell you, come and visit Antigua because that's my birthplace, but you can't go wrong with anywhere else. And in terms of beauty, all the Caribbean islands are beautiful. It's just the natural thing. If I had to make a guess, and forgive me by just saying this if I had to say off the top of my head, which is probably the most scenic beauty place in the Caribbean, I'd probably say Dominica because it's considered to be the nature isle. It has the rivers and the forests and all that sort of things. It's a little less hustle and bustle. So I'd probably say that. But then, we can flip that and say, well, when it comes to like beaches and other sort of things, there are other islands that are right there as well. So, it's just whatever your preference is. But anywhere you decide to go in the Caribbean is a good place to go to.
So will we consider Antigua to be the tropics?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Everywhere in the Caribbean is considered to be the tropics. So we do, for those who understand geography, we fall between the equator and the Tropic of Cancer. Yeah, Tropic of Cancer. So we are, that's why we're called tropical islands, because we're in that region. So for sure, that's why we have the good weather and everything. But that's why we're also cursed with like hurricanes and these sort of things as well. But that's a story for another day.
Oh gosh, yes, it is. You have water springs and hot springs and everything over
Everything,
there, right?
everything. So Antigua doesn't have so much so of like the hot springs because we're not a volcanic island
Okay.
for the
But you
most
got the
part.
pink sand.
Yes. So Barbuda has the pink sand, you have the lovely beaches and the different fancy restaurants. If you want like hot springs, you'd have to visit some of the more volcanic islands like the Dominicas, the St. Lucias, the Windward Islands. For the most part, they make up the islands that primarily have volcanoes. As you know, unfortunately, even St. Vincent had a couple of volcanic eruptions
Yeah.
earlier up this year. So most of the islands in the Windward Islands, they make up the volcanic islands. They're the ones that have the volcanoes. The Soufriere is a name you're going to see when it comes to a lot of volcanoes in the Caribbean, and because a lot of us have Soufriere. And I don't even have to, that is something I have to research because I don't know where that came from. Because
Okay.
there is like Soufriere Hills is a place in Dominica. La Soufriere is another place I think in St. Vincent. So there's a couple of volcanoes that have the name Soufriere as a
I
part
think
of it,
one of them is in Costa Rica because I remember that being
hmm
in Costa Rica. That's one
right?
area.
But I gotta research it to see where that name comes from and why
Okay.
that name is so significant to those islands. But
What
yeah, you
what
go
is
ahead.
your hurricane season? What's the time frame of your hurricane season?
So it's June 1st to November 1st. All
Okay,
right.
so we just came out.
We just came out of hurricane season, yes.
Okay. So
Just
this is
came out.
the best time to visit.
Yeah, so the best time to visit would be first week in December, and you go right down, spend the cold months right here in Antigua. You have the nice weather to do that with. That's also around the time where, so remember I was telling you about we have places in the Antigua that's full of the expat community. Their
Hmm.
season for those places are from December to about May. So a lot of the different fancy restaurants, if you're into sailing, a lot of that's going to be happening, hustle and bustle in that area. It's an area in Antigua called English Harbor. Definitely check it out. There's some amazing restaurants, Italian restaurants, French restaurants, because a lot of these people are Europeans who come here to live. And so you get a taste of that European lifestyle in that area during that time of year.
So if I'm coming to travel,
Hmm.
what area do I want to stay? Because let me tell you what I want.
Hmm.
I gotta have nightlife.
Okay.
And I definitely want to be close to the 365 beaches. I mean, I got a whole lot of choices, but a very, very secluded but beautiful sunset type of beach. What area should I go for nightlife and great food
Okay.
and things like that?
So everywhere in Antigua is sort of close, right? There's nowhere that you're gonna probably be driving for more than maybe 20 minutes to get to. 20 minutes, maybe a half hour tops. If you're trying to get to the two furthest points on the island. So everywhere is pretty close. So you can travel to almost anywhere. And because we have so many beaches, there are a lot of places that you can get beautiful sunsets. I will tell you that there is a beach, there's a restaurant on the beach called Valley Church Beach.
Valley
The
Church.
restaurant is called The Nest. That beach is probably one of the best places to look at a sunset in Antigua. It's just beautiful. When the sun is the orange hue is coming out over the clouds. It's just amazing and beautiful to look at. So that beach, Valley Church Beach, when it comes to looking at a sunset, I would definitely tell you go there. So there's a couple of areas on the island that I would consider great for restaurants, nightlife, and that hustle and bustle of that sort of thing. And then you can also look at things from a local perspective and then from a
Mhm.
tourist type of perspective. So where I said like Valley Church in the Nest, that place
Yes.
is pretty cool. There's a couple of restaurants over that side of the island. That's on the southern side of the island, right? Then there's also like English Harbor. That area is also another area. There are beaches there. There's beautiful scenery and everything. Hotels are there, but guest houses are there. You can find places to stay.
Wow.
The yachting community is there as well. So you might just end up on a yacht for a yacht party and that sort of thing. There's a lot of docks and marinas out there. And out there also has a lot of history as well. So you have places like Nelson's Dockyard, you have Shirley Heights Lookout. And Shirley Heights Lookout, talking about beautiful. So
Beautiful.
it is there's a reason they call it a lookout, right? It was where, the old English army used to go to see people approaching from the Atlantic Ocean or from wherever they're trying to, look at to get to invade. So it's a place that was used as a lookout. But it's
Okay.
beautiful, man. When you're looking out over the water, and up there, that place, Shirley Heights, it's the place that has the longest running weekly party in the Caribbean. I think they've been doing a Friday night party there for, I would imagine, close to 50 years. So
Wow.
yeah, every year, every day, every Friday it happens. I think the only
Every
time they
Friday is lit.
right, I think the only time that they actually took a break was when we were under complete lockdown
Yes.
for COVID. But prior to
Mhm.
that, every Friday that party was going on. You know, every Friday, every Sunday, one of those days. But it happens right there in Shirley Heights. Beautiful place. Um, so definitely, I would tell you check out there. But there's also other places where persons who are local might want to go to. There are the different clubs and lounges and bars that we hang out. So there's a lot of places to find. There's a lot of places to enjoy yourself and have some fun. So you definitely would have a good time. I'm not sure what you're into personally, um, but there's something for everybody. There's something definitely for everybody.
Mr. Kenny, I am so grateful that you are giving us all this information. And if they go over your Instagram, they will see a whole lot of information. You
Hmm.
keeping it real, you telling us what we need to see, what we need to do, what's the best, what's not, what's this, what's
Hmm.
that. I'm appreciative for the information, but now I need to get into your business. I want to
All
know who you are. Who?
right. All right. So I'm originally a broadcaster. I've been in television and radio for most of my life. I actually started on radio when I was 19. Well, before that, I did a little weekly show when I was around 16, 17, but officially as my job when I was 19. And because of that and getting into DJing, I was able to travel across the Caribbean. I used to go to all over the place to perform and DJ and play music. So that's why I'm very familiar with a lot of different cultures from the region. As with anybody, COVID hit and we were all in our house and we was like, what is there to do? So I took my creativity to social media and I started creating videos at home. Um, I started off really with TikTok, and what I realized pretty quickly on TikTok was that there wasn't a lot of Caribbean representation on TikTok. There wasn't anybody really talking about the Caribbean in a certain way. People were still all about the little dance trends and so on. And I said to myself, hey, why don't I try to shine a light on the Caribbean? So I started creating Caribbean based content. One of the first videos that I did that really took off, and I said to myself, hey, maybe we might have an opportunity to do this for a longer period. I did a video. It's called Words Jamaicans Use That Means Something Completely Different in Other Parts of the World. And the word
Super
was,
funny. Super funny.
and the first word we used, I think the first word we used was bun. So in most places, a bun is like a tasty pastry. But if you're in Jamaica and somebody tell you you'll get bun, it's not something you can eat with cheese. It means that your significant other is cheating on you, and that took off and got a lot of views. And go ahead.
So bun is someone doing the bun.
Yes.
Mm.
So if somebody say you'll get bun, it means that your boyfriend or girlfriend is cheating on you. You'll get bun, right? So that took off, and I said, hey, there's probably room to do this sort of content. Then I started doing other things like other words that we use. Like another one we did was that from the Jamaican perspective was bulla, right? And bulla is a type of cake. It's like a sweet cake, like, but
Okay.
bulla means like having intercourse in other parts of the Caribbean. So, yeah, yeah. So, so if a Jamaican person tells you you want bulla and beef or bulla and cheese or whatever the case may be, you know, if you go to Trinidad, that person might say, "Well, what are you talking about? Well, that's nasty," right? So I did that, and it just took off, man. And we just started creating the content. We started doing things like 5 things you should never say to different Caribbean people: Dominicans, Jamaicans, Trinidadians, Bajans. Then we started doing the
Wait,
characters
hold
where
up.
we
Who are the Bajans?
Barbados. So Barbados people from
Barbados are the
Barbados,
Bajans.
yeah,
Okay, okay.
Bajans, yeah, Bajans. So
Now,
that's
remember, I'm stateside.
no problem. So Bajan is a shortened form of saying Barbadian. You know, we speak dialect in the
Yeah.
Caribbean, so we kind of shorten words. So Bajan is just somebody who's from Barbados. Um, yeah, so that just started taking off, and then I realized that, you know, this empowered a lot of other Caribbean content creators to start creating Caribbean content, and that's what it was all about. You know, I'm that type of person where I like to inspire people to do what they want to do, inspire people to do great things, and I did it. People saw that it made sense, that this content worked, and then a lot of people started jumping on board with this style of content afterwards, and it's just super awesome for that to happen. The landscape right now for Caribbean content is just so amazing, man. Trust me.
That is great. I like it. I like it. I like it. Please go over there, subscribe, come back. Don't go there and stay there. Just come back and then go check out this stuff later. But
Definitely.
this is the version of the show where I be asking all those questions. Asking
All
all
right.
those questions. Okay. So I'm going in. Okay. I need you
Go
to
ahead.
give me the information.
Go ahead.
People you would like to have dinner with and why?
Ah,
Anybody in the world, 3 people you would
living or
like.
dead? That does have to be somebody who's living. Could it be somebody who's living or dead?
It could be living, dead, came back, went back, for back,
Uh,
whatever.
I would love to have dinner with Barack Obama. Definitely somebody who I would like to break bread with, and just to get his sense of how he got to his journey and what inspired him. I would also love to have dinner with Toots and the Maytals. So, for those who don't know, Toots is a Grammy Award winning reggae artist. He
Oh,
was way back in the day. So, as a matter of fact, his song called Do the Reggae
do the
is
regular.
believed to be the song that inspired the genre of reggae. So there was no reggae before he did Do the Reggae, before it was ska music and that sort of thing. So I would love to have a conversation with him. I actually met him before on a show, and he
Okay.
gave me some words, some inspiring words and so on. So I before he passed away. So there's him. So I gave you one person who's alive, one person who's dead. Let me see. A third person I would love to have. I'd love to have dinner with. I'd probably say I would love to have dinner with um probably like a Bob Marley type of person. Maybe Bob Marley. Just again, I like the stories. Um, I would like to just speak with him when it comes to his whole history, because his history is unique as well.
Mhm.
Having his father was, of course, a Caucasian guy, and everything with that. So I would love to have had that conversation, have dinner with him as well. I'd probably eat some ital, you know what I'm saying? So it's all good. Eat some ital and drink some sarsaparilla.
Wait, what's the what? Has some Ida. What's that?
Ital. So ital is a traditional Jamaican dish. It's made with like rice and peas and a different seasoning and coconut milk.
Oh, it's probably so good. It's
Yeah, it
probably
is. It is. It is. So we'll eat some ital, and sarsaparilla is made from the root of a tree, so it's a drink.
I know it's possible. Yeah, yeah.
All right. So yeah,
Okay.
man, for sure.
Wow. Okay, next question. What's the funniest thing that has happened to you on a date?
Funniest thing that has happened to me on a date. I'll be honest with you, right? I don't do a lot of dates. um, the funniest thing that ever happened to me on a date. Wow. Um, I don't know. That's interesting. I got to think about that.
I told you I be
Funny,
going there. I be like, you be like,
the
whoa,
funniest
where's
thing
she
that ever
ever
happened to me on a date. My date, I got to knock on wood. I've never had necessarily weird dates per se. They've all been pretty chill. I don't know. I don't think there's anything that's been too dramatic that's happened to me on a date before. And normally because I control the date, right? I'm the one planning it out and doing most things. So I've never really had very many people decide to up and take me on a date. And that's usually when I'm already in a full blown relationship and so on. And you know exactly what to expect from that point. So I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe that's a boring answer, but yeah.
You know, because I'm newsy and nosy. Everybody know that know me. You was having something in that glass. Like that
Yeah.
glass. What's that?
Oh,
What
it's just
was
a
it?
little bit of red wine. You know,
That's
I'm a
it.
wine guy.
No Island red wine, no
No,
black
no,
owned company, no none of
this,
that.
well, I'll tell you this. It is island red wine, but it's so this wine is distributed by a company in Antigua called Premier Beverages. It's a wine called Birds and Bees. So I'm also
Birds and
actually,
bees.
yeah, I'm actually a brand ambassador
Oh,
for the
yes, you
company
are.
as well. It's a local company. We make our local rums as well. So English Harbor rum is an Antiguan rum, and if you do come to Antigua, we gonna share a bottle of English Harbor rum. You know, we're gonna mix it with some coconut water, so you have the real island experience. But they do that. So they do their different beverages. So this is birds. I was drinking Birds and Bees wine. So that's what I was drinking there.
So is it some like fruit and some
Yeah, it's
good
actually
stuff
it's a
in there?
sweet wine. It's a sweet wine. It's fruity. But yeah, it's good though. It's really really good.
I mean, listen, you was like taking it down. I don't know. I'm not a drinker, but it looked
I
like it
I,
was good, so I had to.
I love wine, man. I'm a drinker somewhat. I
Okay,
tend to slow down a little bit on the hard stuff. But
okay,
you know, occasionally I'm gonna drink my rum. I'm a Caribbean guy through and through, right? So I like rum. Rum
okay.
is the Caribbean's alcohol.
All
I
that.
like rum. You know what I'm saying?
But
Every people like the cognacs and the brandies and the whiskeys. Give me rum.
all
Rum
that.
and coconut water and I'm good.
That's okay. So you're not a Hennessy white guy, kind of guy.
I will drink it on occasion, but my
Okay.
first choice and preference is always gonna be rum. If there's no
Okay.
rum, I drink Hennessy. But give me rum. Give me English Harbor rum and I'm good.
Okay. Okay. So what do you want to do when you retire?
Uh chill on the beach and drink rum.
You got a lot of them. You got a lot
uh,
of options.
um, I I don't think I'll ever fully retire.
Okay.
Even if I get to the point where I'm financially stable and I don't have to work for my living, I think I'm always going to be involved in the arts and art forms and creativity. I think I'm always going to still be trying to help people create platforms for that sort of thing. So I don't think I'll ever retire. I think retirement sometimes and not doing anything is almost like a little death sentence in a sense. In a sense, if you're a person who always going and then you decide to just stop going, that's when you start getting old to me. So I don't think I'll ever fully stop. um, I'll just work hard to be financially stable, and then when I get to that point, then I can just use my assets to do certain things for other people.
All right. So tell us all the things you got going on, because we're winding down to the hour. So I need to
Okay.
know what you got going on, what you need to tell us, what you presenting,
Well, I
how
got a
you
couple
doing it.
exclusives for you. Okay, so
I'm giving you
I
the floor.
just shot a movie the other a couple of weeks ago. We wrapped filming for a movie that should be coming out soon. It's going to be on YouTube. Um, that's going to be happening. I am also working on a script for another movie that I'm going to be shooting next year. I'm also working along with Tempo. I don't know if you're familiar with Tempo, the Caribbean Network. I should have a TV show coming to Tempo soon. I've been a little delayed with a couple of things, but it's going to be centered around my content that I've been doing on social media. So I make my list of top 10 this and top 5 this. So the show is going to be that same concept is going to go over to the TV network. It's going to be lengthened out, and we're going to be making it for TV. It's going to be like half-hour episodes and that sort of thing. So we're going to be doing that. So that's coming. That's going to be coming along very, very, very soon. I'm also back on the radio with the same company I said that distributes the Birds and Bees, Premier Beverages. Every Saturday night, I'm on the radio in Antigua, and we have a party show on the radio. So a lot of things are happening. Poetry in the Park, as always, which is I'm a part of the committee that does that. That happens every last Saturday in the month. So a couple of things are on the agenda. So for sure, look forward to seeing me in more movies. I'm going to be throwing my hat further into the movie ring. Look out for the TV show on Tempo. That's going to be happening. We're going to probably do the first season next year. Going to be probably about 8 episodes in the first season, and then we're going to see what happens from there. And everything else, Poetry in the Park, the Premier Party Vibe show. That's what I'm going to have my hand on, and still trying to make amazing content on social media. I'm going to be pushing a lot of things to YouTube and build out the platform there, but I'm still going to be on IG and TikTok heavy. So that's what's going to be happening for the near future.
All right, so we got IG, we got TikTok, we have YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
So are you on Facebook?
I'm on Facebook, yes, but I mean, Facebook is a little bit back in the day kind of thing. I mostly use my Facebook to just communicate with people that I've been friends with for a long time. I don't push, and I should not say that, because let me tell you why. I've had videos that have gone viral on Facebook too, so I think I should really push more content to Facebook. I think you can actually monetize Facebook just like the other platforms. So I should actually push more content to Facebook. But yes, I'm on Facebook. Everything on my social media platforms, guys, is Kenny D himself. If you go to Facebook, it's Kenny D himself. If you go to IG, TikTok, YouTube, just type in Kenny D himself, and I should pop up. And you just go and give me a follow and do that for me. You know.
What is Kenny D himself? Where did that name come from? Why you picked that name? What's going on?
I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you how that came into me. So, my first name is Kanasa, but everybody calls me Kenny, and
Okay.
my last name is Denard. So, in music, my stage name or my performing name was Kenny D. Now, you remember MySpace?
Yes.
Okay, so when MySpace came out, persons who had like big artists who had MySpace pages, they used to call their page things like the real, like I said, the real 50 Cent or the real this. So I wanted to do something similar, but I never liked saying the real nothing. So instead of saying the real Kenny D, I just said Kenny D himself, and it stuck. So that's how Kenny D himself got on the internet.
Good God. Congratulations on all of your success.
Thank you.
I've been watching, I'm enjoying, you got so much going on over there. Like I got
Yeah.
so many questions, and because it's just like you don't stop. And I think you just
No.
pushing it and pushing it and pushing it. And it's good content. It's good content, definitely.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna do more to make some long form content. So a lot of the things that I'm gonna be doing with YouTube is to flesh out a lot of the videos that I've already made. That I do 1 minute videos and 30-second videos. I can flesh those out and make them long form content for YouTube. And I'm gonna be doing a lot of that next year. But a lot of things are still coming on the way. The TV show, the movies, I'm definitely gonna be doing that for sure. And I remember I told you I had to give you a story about Angola, right? So I'm going to give you a
Yes.
story about Angola. So you told me to tell you what Angola is known for. I'm going to give you a story about it. So Angola is a part of the British, monarchy. It's a British territory. But back in the day, it was Saint Kitts, Nevis, and Angola. They were a 3-nation. They were a 3-island nation. Of course, Saint Kitts and Nevis got their own independence afterwards. But Angola broke away from Saint Kitts and Nevis. in
Okay.
something called the Anguilla Revolution. So what happened is that Anguilla and Anguillians felt like they weren't getting enough assistance from Saint Kitts Nevis or Britain, and
Mm-hmm.
they revolted. They're like, "Hey, we don't want to be a part of this no more. We done. We fighting. Nobody come here." So they had the Anguilla Revolution. They started their own government. They even made like their own coins. There's a
Okay.
national hero for Anguilla called Ronald Webster, who is Anguilla's national hero, and they did that whole sort of thing. Eventually, though, they made amends with Britain and it became a British colony again.
Okay.
But they're one of the few islands in the region that had a revolution or a somewhat successful revolution, besides Haiti. So that's big up and props to Anguilla.
Exclusive. Exclusive. Okay. What language do you speak over there? Is English?
English, yeah, English, yeah, English for the most part. It's a British territory, so of course it's going to be English. But very close to Anguilla, there's Saint Martin, which is like 1 or 2 miles
I
away. And
mean,
Saint Martin, of course, they speak like three different languages in Saint Martin. They are primarily English, but they
mhm.
also speak French and they also speak Dutch because
Okay.
they're a French and Dutch colony.
Dutch
But they
over
speak,
in St. Martin's. Yeah.
yeah, so but they speak English. You have no problem going there and speaking English. Everybody speaks English, but they also speak French and they also speak Dutch.
So outside of all the things that you're going to do, what is something that you always wanted to do and you're aiming to do it because it was a dream?
Well, my I always just wanted to make Antigua proud. I always wanted to be on a platform big enough that people can say, "Yo, this guy helped put Antigua on the map." So that is just where my aim is. I will tell you this: I look at persons, and not that I'm comparing myself to these people in any way, shape, or form, but I look at these people as inspirations. I look at people like a Major Hype and
Mhm.
everything he's done in his time on social media and his ability to put the Caribbean on the map. And I want to do something similar for
Okay.
not just the Caribbean, but for Antigua. So whether it's I'm able to get into some big Hollywood movies somewhere in the future, that would be amazing.
Okay.
Even if it's a little short part, can't
Little
take that
part.
away from me. Right? So even things like that. But in the future, hopefully, we don't know what the future holds, but that is something that I definitely want to get into. And
Okay.
yeah.
Would you do Cool Running 3, 4?
uh, I have I always say that you don't mess with a classic and cool when it is a classic to me, but hey, if the opportunity presents itself and it makes sense, I'll do it. I'll do it. If it's a good enough script, I'll do it.
Okay, so you can see the chat. Let's go all the way up to the top. I want you to greet them.
Let
I'll
me.
highlight the people, but you
Okay, go
can
ahead.
greet them so they can hear when you say their name in your dialect. They're gonna be like, oh,
Okay, I see a couple of people in here. Let me shout them out.
we're
Let
going
me
all
scroll
the way
up.
up. There you go.
All right. So we got wellness with frugal mama. Hey, what's up, wellness? Infinity Wellness and Coaching. Big up yourself as well. Yo, it's your boy Leo. Big up Leo. My Lion Kings. You don't know. 72 Classic. What going on? Everything good? The points blank experience was good. We got 72 Classic again. Let me see who else. Glasses Kingdom. What going? Hope everything Irie. Yeah, what going? Oh wow, that's a lot. Yo, it's your boy Leo. Hey Leo, what's good? What's good?
So Watson is from St. Thomas. He's from the U.S.
Okay,
Virgin Islands.
okay. I got a couple of friends from the Virgin Islands now. So one of the first persons that I linked up with from the Virgin Islands, well, a couple of people, but from the U.S. Virgin Islands was Pumpa. You know what I'm
Pumba.
saying?
Hmm.
Yeah, Pumpa. He did the song called Massage that took off in the region. Hey,
Okay.
Sophie. Yeah, he did a song called Massage that took off in the region. So big up Pumpa. I've also linked up with people from Tortola like DJ Bertram. That's British Virgin Islands though. Lincoln Ward. These
Okay.
guys, I've been cool with them. So I have a couple of friends.
I think,
Even
isn't it Pressure? I think Pressure is
Pressure
here.
is also he's a reggae artist
He's a
from
regular
St. Thomas.
Yeah, because
On the soca
we
side
go
of
in the
things,
same circle, so
yeah, yeah, definitely. So big up to. I've also, you know, I've, there's the guy that sings, "Shorty's like a melody in my
yes,
head that
my
I can't."
head. Nigga, nah,
Ayers,
nah, nah, nah.
I've never really met Ayers like that, but he
Mhm.
has a relative in Anguilla that also does music. So I've been in that circle as well. But big up
Big
to
up.
all my Caribbean artists, man. As a matter of fact, there's an artist that is from Antigua that used to live in St. Thomas for a very long time. Drastic. I don't know if you're familiar with
I
Drastic.
heard it. I heard that name.
Yeah, Drastic and me went to school together.
Okay.
We homies. So big up to Drastic. He was living in St. Thomas for a while, and he's doing his musical thing as well. So you don't know. Big up to all my Caribbean artists, man, for real.
So we forgot a couple of people.
Tell me
I got it on the screen. Can you see it?
your favorite couple.
Say it one more time.
Your favorite couple. Who's that?
Because I think they're gonna be like they want to hear you say their name the way you say their
All right.
name.
So let me do it like this. Uh, Don, let me say big up to your favorite couple coming and kick it with us right here on the live stream. Big up yourself. No salt in the ital dishes for sure. You can't put
No
salt in the
salt.
Rastaman can't do the salt thing. Can't put no salt in the ital dish. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, last thing. Oh, we got a super chat. Appreciate you. Thank you so very much. Last thing I got to say is, can you say my name?
Angie. Wagwan Angie.
No, I need you to say the whole thing.
Angie sociable. Am I saying that right?
I need you to say
Angie Poo.
Angie
Okay.
Pool.
Okay. All right. I got you. Wagwan Angie Poo. 215. Everything good, darling. You're going with a bag of things.
That part. That part. All right. Before we go, I want you to tell everybody who you are, what you got going on, how come they need to come and see you, why they should see you, everything that you
Definitely.
didn't get a chance to say. I want you to tell it all.
All right. So once again, people, make sure you go and follow me on my social media platforms. Kenny D himself on all platforms. I'm always going to be trying to make the great Caribbean-based content for you. Look out for some big things happening when it comes to the movie side of things, the TV shows, and all that good stuff. But just follow my socials, and you'll be up to date with everything. Yeah, and I definitely show love back. So send some love to your boy right here, Kenny D himself. Go give me a link. All right, boom.
Kenny D, I am so grateful, my brother. Like,
Thank you. I
so
am. I
grateful.
appreciated it, man. I had lots of fun.
And I'm coming over there to see you. I'm coming to Antigua real
Yeah,
soon to
man.
see you because I
I
want to
got a,
boy.
I got a bottle of English Harbor 10-year-old rum, and we gonna get a coconut fresh from the tree, and that's what we drinking. Rum and coconut
Water.
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 No. Rum and coconut water. That's what we drinking. All right.
Coconut water, yes. That's fine. Hold on a
All right.
second. I'll put you down and let me say good night to everyone.
All
Good
right.
night,
No
good night,
problem.
good
All
night.
right. Peace and love, people.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am so grateful to have Mr. Kenny D himself. The link is dropped. Please go and support him. He is a hoot. Check him out on Instagram. I'm going to go and I'm be newsy and nosy and I'm going to go find everything out on YouTube. Go and check him out. He got so many future plans. Everything is just big up and bright for the future. Until next time, guys, this is the convo. I'm Anjipo and I am appreciative that you came and spent some time with me. Welcome in, everybody, and I'm thankful. Until next time, it's me, Anjipo. Deuces.